Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about sexual and gender-based violence. Something that we need to be talking about. It's on the rise, so we need to understand what it really is and how we can play a role in, ending it. So let's keep watching. Having this conversation with me is Amanda. Amanda, welcome to the channel.
Thank you, Lisa.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, kindly tell them who you are and what you do.
Yeah, my name is Amanda Kawaisolia Mucho. I am a communications professional. I do strategic communications for non-profit organizations, for civil society organizations, and social enterprises.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what I do as work. I'm also a mom of 2 boys and a wife. I'm currently working with an organization called Yaka AIDS Orphans Project, and I supported the role of communications manager.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
That's about.
Thank you so much. Thank you for being here. And, wanted to have this conversation, and we just need to understand from your perspective, your expertise, what is sexual and gender-based violence? Because we hear those terms. And sometimes alone, they mean something together. So we just want to understand what it is.
So sexual and gender-based violence comes from simply gender-based violence. So gender-based violence is an act that is perpetrated against someone, against someone's will and say permission.
Yeah.
So there are different forms of gender-based violence. And the reason it's called gender-based violence is because it's perpetrated against a particular gender. So it can be for both female or male, but commonly it has been against women and girls.
Yeah.
Yes, so there are different forms. There is physical violence, there is mental violence, there is sexual violence, and many other different forms. So when we are talking about sexual and gender-based violence, here we are concentrating on sexual violence against women and girls. Yes.
Okay. So maybe just tell us more. You've talked about Yaka. What does Yaka do, and how is it supporting this cause?
Okay. So Yaka is a non-profit organization that was founded in 2001. Yaka started out with a mission and vision to support orphans and vulnerable children who were affected by the pandemic of HIV and AIDS that happened way back in 1990s. You know what the outbreak did and the effects of it. So many families in southwestern Uganda, and just like the rest of Uganda really, were affected by HIV and AIDS. Quite a number of people died as we know it, and they left a lot of orphans. So the founder, Mr. Jackson Kaguri, was one of the people that was heavily affected because he lost both siblings, and the siblings had families, and these nephews and nieces were left under his care.
Yeah.
So while he was, taking he was doing his university in the US at the time, he was forced to leave and come and take care of these kids. But it just wasn't that. It was many other homes around that Kanungu village, in Nyakajezi village to be particular, that he thought, okay, it won't just be about my nephews and nieces. This is the whole community that we need to support.
Yeah.
So that's how Yaka was birthed, by rallying the community. And he used his personal savings. They started up a school. And at the time, that was the focus. How do we make sure these kids don't miss out on school because they've been orphaned? But as a child, you need a holistic kind of model for you to be able to go through life, to thrive, to grow, to learn. So unlike many other organizations that focused on creating an orphanage for orphans, Yaka focused on working with the communities, working with the available primary caregivers who are the grandmothers of these kids to put them in these foster homes for them to be raised. So from the education program, then they came up with a grandmother program, empowering these grandmothers to raise the orphans. And that wasn't just it. Now we had to think about the health program, because for a child to grow and thrive, it will take health and nutrition to be part of it. So those were the core areas that Yaka was focused on: education, grandmothers, and health and nutrition. This was in 2001, right? So as the years went by, 2015, a case of a 10-year-old young girl, one of the students of Yaka, was walking from home to school, and they got raped. Yes, they were raped, and they had nowhere to run to. They did not report the case at the time. It was first a hush-hush situation, but later, when the leaders of the organization got to know about this, that's what birthed the SGBV program in Yaka. They could not keep quiet. They could not let it go. The team at the time, this was 2015 that I'm talking about, the team at the time held this girl's hand and the family. They identified who the perpetrator was, and he was brought to face the law. And that was the very first arrest that Yaka registered of a perpetrator against a young girl. Yes, so from that time, again, it wasn't just that girl. Then these cases started coming up, and people felt the confidence that, okay, if I spoke to someone from this organization, they'll possibly get the help. So a whole program was birthed then, and the journey was taken. Let's start working with these victims. It was not just the girls, the women as well in the community came out, and they were supported. So that's how Yaka began sexual and gender-based violence program. Currently, the organization has set up 4 healing centers. As an organization, we don't have legal experts that we work with, but with the community model that I told you about, we work with the community to make sure the perpetrators are identified, the victims are identified, and the support the organization gives is identify who the lawyers could possibly be. And we get those involved. We involve the police, and if it's testimonies that we need, they are got, and justice is served. So for the last close to 10 years now, we have registered more than 400 arrests of perpetrators.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Maybe just to speak into that, because sometimes we hear these things about them. But like, how big is the problem? Because so many times we're not sure, maybe it's just 1 or 2 cases, like how big is the problem, especially where Yaka is working, and what examples of stories can you share with us that you've seen coming out in the community about the violence?
So what you have to know about these cases and these communities, it is so sad that most of the perpetrators, most of these people who are committing these crimes are close in reach with the victims. Most of them are family members. That's the sad part about this story, that they are not far from the victim. The perpetrator is not far from the victim. It's an uncle, it's a grandfather, it could be the dad, or any other relative or friend around them. That is the very unfortunate part about it. So the cases are many. I mean, before Yaka got involved in these cases, right now the operation areas are Kanungu and Rupunjiri mostly. Before they heavily got involved, of course, as you know, we are in a patriarchal society. We are still trying to fight the norm. But most times you find the people who should be coming out to report the case against this person are the very ones hiding, who are making it hush-hush, burying it under the blanket. Let's not talk about this, let's not talk about this. But yet they have witnessed it, they know it's happening, but they're not talking about it. So the cases are there. I can't even start putting a percentage to it right now in the regions, because the more we create awareness, the more arrests happen, then the more people get to report. So the numbers are changing each and every day. We are hoping it gets to go down. But interestingly, the more cases that we register, then we know that awareness is happening. Then we know that we are facing stigma we are dealing with the issue of stigma.
Yeah.
So that people get to come out and talk. Yes.
And what would you say to, because when you talk about the girls being raped and all that, what do you think is the biggest cause of this kind of violence happening? Is it something as parents we need to be aware of? What's causing that?
So unfortunately, like I said, we are in a patriarchal society, and oftentimes the whole idea of, this is a man, they are excused for most of their behavior, and the domineering factor sometimes is not separated from whatever desires that they want to fulfill with themselves. So having that kind of rule and upper hand that those communities happen to experience, when this person is in that position and there is a young girl and they feel whatever they want to feel, they won't hold back their feeling. They end up committing the crime against the girl, right? But it's because they know they will get away with it, oftentimes.
That's true.
It's because they know this is a victim. I can take advantage and be done with it.
Yeah.
And nothing will be done about it. But because certain other communities, or maybe let me talk about like the urban centers, why you probably won't register such cases, especially against young girls. Not that they don't happen, but the reason it's not as common is because we are aware. Oftentimes we have this information. We know that there is a police station I can report. I can talk to someone, but in these communities, that is not happening. That's why we have to constantly create the awareness and let them know there is a policy, there is a law that can protect you. You don't have to keep quiet. Don't allow anyone to violate your rights. Don't allow anyone to violate your innocence. You can stand up for yourself. You can talk about it. But the other reasons that have been mentioned in the past is, people blame it on poverty. People blame it on certain seasons. Let's say dry seasons, people are poor. There are all these things. It can be blamed on climate. It can be blamed on all these things. But I tell you, it's simply the selfishness in someone's heart. Because why would you think of doing anything like that to a young girl? But
and then what role should parents play in protecting, especially the girls? For me, I keep saying that in my home, if there's a man, especially those people you have said who keep coming, like you need to be alert and teach these girls, no one should touch you, teaching them their private, knowing their private parts, knowing that they are private, no one should see them. What role do you think parents need to play in protecting their young ones from such?
I'll start with a story that has not left my heart, that has not left me the same. It's the story of these three young girls who live in a home with their mom. Their mom is probably really busy because sometimes she's forced to leave them home alone and close the house and go do what she has to do.
Leave them in the house?
Yeah, leave them in the house, go do what she has to do, work, fend, whatever it is, and get back home. These girls are close relatives, knew about this occurrence, knew about this arrangement, and he always came to the home and violated these girls. I can't even begin to mention for how long he was doing it. The oldest girl, the ages are 12, 7, and 9. Oh my God. Yeah, it's so heartbreaking. So the oldest girl constantly wanted to have a conversation with her mom.
Yeah.
And it's like, I want to talk to you.
No, it's okay. Oh.
It's such a sad story. She's reaching out and is like, something is going on.
Yeah.
That you need to know about. So the oldest girl, the one who is 12, is, constantly trying to reach out to the mom. There is something going on. There is something going on you need to know about. But she's like, no, let's not talk about that. Let's not. So I feel like at that point, my rage was towards the mom. Like, your girl is trying to reach out to you to say something. Give her audience.
Yeah.
But she wasn't able to. Not until one of the girls confided in a neighbor. I don't know, was it a neighbor or someone? And that's how the story went all the way. They reached out to one of our healing centers, spoke to one of our staff members. And of course, you know, we are on the ground. We have to bring these people to face the law. Yeah, the perpetrator was identified, and right now the case is being pursued. I don't even like that sometimes it takes longer than a day. But yes, at least the report we are getting, he should be arrested because there is enough evidence, there is testimony against his acts.
And you say it was a family member?
It was a family member. It was a family member. So that's the common thing that's happening, that oftentimes, like 80% of the time, it's people within
the circle
of these little girls. Yeah. So what should the parents do? What's the role of the parents? Hear out your children, hear out your kids. Listen. Don't think, you know, my child is being stubborn. My child is lying. My child is lying, or they are making up excuses. That's not someone anyone would play with. Even in the event that maybe it was actually a lie, do not treat it lightly that she thought of sharing anything like that. You know? So parents have to be able to give their kids the audience to listen, or even ask them questions that will provoke them to want to give information. Because oftentimes, again, with the kind of culture that we have, as Africans, we are strong on disciplining, and sometimes we use, you know, methods like the hard methods. It could be caning, or, you know, using the rod. Not that I'm against that, but
using it badly, not the right way.
But sometimes it creates fear in the kids to open up and have the free space to discuss certain things that bother them like that, because it's such a sensitive matter. So what is the role of parents in this matter? Have conversations with your kids. Ask questions that will provoke them to speak, that will push them to speak about anything. Even if they saw it at school, they should be able to tell you. Even if it's a neighbor's child, they should be able to speak. But have these conversations, and like you said, educate your child. Let them know their rights. Let them know their body. Let them know where, like, which line someone cannot cross. Even if it's an uncle or a brother or a father, there is a certain way they should not hold you. There is a certain way they should not behave around you. So I think parents need to be very, very vigilant. But create the safe space for your children to have to talk about.
I love that, especially building that relationship so that they can open up. Because I know sometimes we try to protect the children, but we're not with them 24/7. Sometimes they're at school, sometimes they are, you know, try and protect as much as you can, but build that relationship so they can be able to share openly. And I'm very curious about, you know, I know it's mainly girls, but do you ever face where it's boys being sexually taken advantage of?
Yes, we have. Those cases are really minimal, but I must say that they are also there. So of like the cases we've registered, we have about 20 cases that came up, and this was a man reporting a case of gender-based violence. Mostly it's gender-based, physical, psychological, but rarely is it sexual. Yes, it's mostly other forms of violence, but sexual,
not coming out.
Not coming out.
I mean, even maybe the men would not say, maybe even, or not bring out such cases. I don't know. Okay. If you're looking for a place to come and spend time with your spouse, this is it. A home away from home. Canary Hotel has some amazing offers. For double occupancy, you can stay here at only 400,000. But because you follow me, we're giving you an amazing discount. Use the discount code LISAK and you'll get a 10% discount. For single occupancy, it's 350, but you can get a discount on that. So please do check them out on their website or on their Instagram page at Canary Hotel, and you will have an amazing time with your spouse. So we've talked about the young girls, and, you know, it's sexual and all these things. What about the women? What are we seeing as the trends when it comes to women and gender-based violence?
Okay, so when it comes to women, there is what they call violence against women. This violence, again, it's in different forms. It could be sexual, it could be physical, but, you know, particularly against women. That's a term that is also used under gender-based violence. For women, it's commonly also, again, in homes, but intimate partners.
Yeah.
The kind of violence that women have faced the most. There are rape cases, yes. There are, because, once you're a woman, it's not defilement anymore. It's usually rape, but also intimate sexual violence that women face from their close partners. Yeah, those are the cases that oftentimes are reported, because in as much as a woman is married, there is a possibility of rape.
Yeah, it happens.
So those are some of the cases.
And what has been what has been the support when it comes to the police? Because I know it may be the same in southern or southwest Uganda, but it may also be even here. Like, you report a case or someone reports, but the police is not forthcoming or it's not like quick to respond. Like, what kind of support are you getting from police?
The police has been really, really supportive, because like I said, as Yaka, we work as a collective, we work as a community, we involve the community in all these things. I'll tell you, it's interesting that a certain part of the community also consider us as enemies, because we take their relatives, to be arrested. But also the other big percentage that once this issue addressed, they will run in behind these cases and make sure that the perpetrators are arrested. So when a case is reported at police, if it's a young girl who will go by themselves, it may not be given attention. If it's a young girl with, a social worker who may not be so aggressive, it may not be supported. But if you involve the community, the parents are involved, you bring in community leaders. This could be the LC chairperson, the local council leaders, the women leaders. That case will be heard, because the police will at this point know that this is a very serious case. It deserves investigation, and we need to follow through. And that's some of the ways that we've been able to make sure justice is served. We don't work just by ourselves. We involve the community, and we make sure justice is served.
I love that. So what things are you guys doing as Yaka to spread awareness about this cause, and how can people tag along? Because there's so many people who want to support these causes, but they don't know where to go, what's happening, how do I tap in? And so what are you guys doing?
One of the things that we have done consistently is make sure that our staff in the field, my colleagues in the field, are on ground 24/7. We have people snooping around to make sure if anything is happening,
let us know.
We have to know, we have to be onto it. But not only that, as Yaka, we called annual walks, or I call it an SGBV walk. It's been happening for 5 years now. This is going to be the 5th. And we rally the whole community. We involve each and every stakeholder that we know of to come up and stand up and talk about the issue of sexual and gender-based violence. How can we come against it? And it's through events like this that we are able to raise awareness on such a large scale. We are doing it every day on ground, because we have staff members. We have set up healing centers where we give psychosocial support, lots of counseling. We help the victims recover out of whatever they have experienced. We even give medical supports, like give PEP to avoid contracting HIV. And that's if we know the case, like within the shortest period of time of it happening. We give PEP, we give emergency contraceptive pills to avoid pregnancy, if at all, and also take you to clinics, different clinics and hospitals to be treated in case of any other cases, infections or anything. But these events that we hold on an annual basis, and it's not enough, but we are here
trying your best.
We are trying our best. We rally communities. This event attracts over close to, I think, more than 4,000 workers of Rukunjiri district. We have mostly done it in Rukunjiri and Kanungu, like I said. And people come, people join in, and we get people to talk about it. We get lawyers, we get police. Police is one of the people who are always on the front line of these works, because we work with these people to make sure we address this issue. But there is more to be done. There is more to be done.
And when you say that, you know, I'm from Kanungu, my dad's from Kanungu. Oh, and I was like, maybe this is a cause we need to just pay attention to.
Yeah.
You know, I think that would be amazing. When is the next walk?
So the next walk is going to be on 19th of this month of July. Yeah, the days are closing in. We are very, very much excited. Just during this period of preparation, it's amazing how many people we've been able to bring to book.
Yeah.
You know, and just not to forget another very sad story. On both ends, I am a mom to boys. It's boys that were found violating girls. They are all underage. And the boys, the juvenile boys had to be arrested and taken to prison.
Yeah, how old were they?
Around 17, 16, and 15 years of age. You know, it was also like really sad. Like,
where they learn these things from? Like that level of violence, the fact that you can see a young girl and then you even, yeah.
But, you know.
Yeah, so they were taken in.
Yeah, they were taken in under the juvenile section. But yeah, we have to do what we have
You're
to do.
doing your best. Yeah, I think for me, it's really a call for us as parents to teach our children better, but to be alert. Like, don't hide those things that are happening. Even if it's your father doing it, even if it's your brother, like, some of this stuff have to, if people know how serious the consequences are, then they will not do them. So I'm curious to know what made you come into this space. Like, why are you passionate about it?
So like I earlier said, I do strategic communications for nonprofit organizations. So that means I have crossed paths with a lot of organizations that address social issues, and Yaka happens to be one of them. However, I have to mention that I had not been in the space of sexual and gender-based violence before. This is my very, very first experience. I had to deal with other social issues, economic, menstrual health, hygiene, and all these other things, teenage pregnancies, but I'd not gone so deep into sexual and gender-based violence, not until I joined Yaka, and it has become a recent passion of mine because understanding the consequences, like you said, the innocence of these girls, it goes a long way. It's for a lifetime.
Yeah, the trauma.
Yeah, the trauma that they have to deal with, you know, and much worse when this trauma is passed on and on and on. We know what the consequences are. These things bring mental health issues that if they are not addressed. So yeah, I can't say I particularly joined the organization just so that I can be part of SGBV, but with the many things that Yaka is addressing, trying to use a holistic approach, trying to look at a child holistically and take care of them, SGBV just had to be one of them because it's something little girls are dealing with in these rural communities.
Oh, well done to Yaka for the work that they are doing. Maybe just let the people know what would you want to tell the community, especially regarding this SGBV? Like, what are those things that we need to just know about it, or things to never forget about it? Yeah.
Things personally, with the experience that I've had, we have to work as a collective. We have to work as a collective. This is not a one-man thing. There is no particular individual who is going to go out and end this. It will have to take a whole collective. If it's the law, if it's police, if it's leaders, if it's parents, even down to a person giving you help in your house, you know, a house help, or anyone you hired to work around your home or anything like that. Everyone has to be empowered with this information and know which laws protect us against such crimes. What do I need to know? What do I need to do, or even be able to identify a perpetrator or a victim, you know? So conversations have to be had. We have to have open conversations about this because it's happening around us. And I also know it's happening even in the urban centers, the urban areas. But let's have the conversation more often. Why should we do that? It's because we'll kill the stigma. You know, many people don't want to come out to speak.
Yeah, because the shame.
Stigmatized it. Yes, the shame. How will you, if I talk about that, I've been raped. How will I was raped as a child?
Yeah.
How will I be seen? How will the community perceive me? Or will I get a partner who will have respect in me, who will respect me and maybe take me on?
Or even someone can say, it's because you were wearing, that's why you... It's because, why were you walking alone? Why did you go to that house? Because so many women end up either not speaking at all because no one is going to believe me. They will either blame me or, and things like that. So that shame and guilt makes people cover up and just say, you know what, let me just throw it under the rug. I hope to forget it. But these traumas come out eventually and they affect families, they affect children, they can't concentrate, they're dealing with so many... I can't, we need to just rise up and, sometimes these things seem and feel far from us because we experience that or that's far from me, but it can happen at any time, and especially women, we are vulnerable in the society. So be a sister's keeper and encourage, don't stigmatize, report where you need to, and I think, that will help as well. Yeah. So what should people do to jump onto the cause? Where can they find if they want to participate in the run, if they want to support Yaka, Tell us more about what they should do.
I want to invite each and everyone to organize a walk that is going to happen in Rukunjiri on the 19th. Our theme is Twegite. The reason is Twegite is let's come together, let's unite. It's the only way we will be able to end something like this, these kinds of crimes. Yeah, so how can you participate? Please follow us on all our social media platforms. We are on Twitter, we are on Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn. Simply go there and look for Yaka Global. Follow us. We are constantly releasing information about this event. You will know where to get the merchandise if you're interested in it. We are not selling the merchandise. We encourage people to give a donation, but we are happy to also, give to anyone who has jumped on the cause and has donated. We are happy to give you a t-shirt. But most importantly, we want to encourage you, join us while we are in Rukunjiri on the 19th. Please come and walk with us, because the more the merrier, the more the louder, the more then we get to stand and rise up and unite against SGBV. Yes, you can also visit our website, www.nyakaglobal.org. You'll be able to see more about the work that Yaka is doing in southwestern Uganda. And
amazing. So even on the website, they can see how to donate and things like that.
Yes. You'll be able to see that.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Amanda, for spreading awareness. I think we really need such things. We need to partner with such causes because we can be affected. Your sister, your friend can be affected. So let's rise up. And if you can, please donate to the cause. If you're in Rukunjiri, I know I have, followers from all over Uganda. So if you can, please jump onto this and let's be better parents as well. Be alert, protect our children, speak to them. I know one of the things that I do with mine is from when they are young, when they can understand, I begin telling them about their body parts. I begin telling them boundaries, no one should kiss here, and things like that. Because it's those small things where someone say, I'm just, Be a good girl, be wary of such things and tell your children about them and be alert. Don't allow just your children to go anywhere, sleepovers, because those are the places, where people can take advantage of them. I know we cannot be with them 24/7, but we just do our best and then rely on God. Yeah. So thank you again for sharing with us. My name is Lisa Kusima. As always, I'm here to inspire.